So Lil Durk decided he was going to respond to what the feds did. Stuff get pretty interesting. Let's go. Start message. The recent developments in Durk's legal case have brought a harsh truth to light. The government presented false evidence to a grand jury to indict him. This isn't justice. That's a violation of the very system that's supposed to protect all of us. Durk has always used music to tell stories, to express pain, to heal, and yet those same lyrics are now being used against him. We refuse to stay silent as black artists continue to be criminalized for their creativity. Rap is art. As a family, we are asking the public, the fans, and the culture to stand with us, stand for truth, stand for fairness, stand for the voice. Free Durk, free Durk, free the voice. Let artists be artists, the Banks family. So, let's do this, right? Art is art. That's very true. Whether you want to say or agree that rap is art, acoustically, it is. But at the same time, understand what's being pushed here. It's not as though there isn't some type of credence for this. Now, some people will argue and say this, and I hear the argument, and I hear you will. You all will say, well, we should be able to say what we want. We have freedom of speech. That's true. But what you don't have is freedom of consequence. That doesn't mean you can freely say, and I'm not saying this is guilty of Durk, but I'm saying you cannot freely say, I killed that man. Yes, I killed that man, and because I can jingle and I can sing, I should be able to get away with it. You should never be able to admit crimes and get away with it in the eyes of the law. Well, in general, if you're that stupid, then you're just that stupid. Check podcasts that are getting people hit right now. But either way it goes, we had to step back a little bit. Do I believe Durk did it? No. Do I believe that he knew something of this? No. But does it look like the feds have a hell of a case that they can win? Yeah. I mean, let's not kick the BS. Let's tell the truth here. Durk right now, from his actions and how the feds are trying to paint it, you can make a logical decision. But for those of you who are saying Durk is cooked, remember what Johnny Cochran told y'all. Remember what Fonnie Willis repeated and told y'all. You can indict a ham sandwich. So just because you can indict it doesn't mean that it's automatically guilty. I want people to look at it from this point of view. Drew Fillon's arguments were very, very good. Some of you already have a made up mind, so this is going to fly over your head. But hold on real quick. If you already have your mind made up that Durk is guilty, I want you to hear this first, all right? If you could be a little bit cool. Imagine if you were told, hey, bro, we gave you $40 million. You got homies. You got all of this stuff. If you do this for these artists, these are your artists, this is a tax write-off. So here you go. Just give them this card. Once you give them this card, boom. You give them a limit. That's all they can spend. You can write it off in taxes. That's a good idea. See, remember, rich people do this all the time. Hey, we're going to go to lunch. Tax write-off. Clothing, tax write-off. Cars, tax write-off. Houses, tax write-off. Vacation, tax write-off. Okay. So there's that. But also, let's take it a step further. Durk's phone was taken days before he ultimately was taken. If he was going to disappear, wouldn't he have done it when the feds confiscated his phones? Just saying. But let's say even further that the feds are saying he's so guilty, he's so guilty, he's so guilty. And you're going, yeah. So why are the feds actively holding on to a song that has nothing to do with this because it was written 8 months prior? While the feds say this is immaterial, meaning this ain't really got nothing to do about nothing, why haven't they thrown it out there? If the lyrics are not that prominent, if the lyrics are not used to be played in court to hear so that they can sway a jury, then why is it being used? To call something immaterial, but yet bring it is insane. Okay. Then the thing about the plane tickets, if Drew shows a pattern of behavior that literally keeps on showing, bro, this is how Durk operates. This is how he operates. This is how he operates. Every time he goes and flies, he just goes the day before. If the flight to LA that he booked was bought the same dang day, then if you can show a bunch of other flights were bought the same dang day, and I'm only saying dang because we've expanded the audience, so I'm not trying to cuss. You do realize that that's just how he gets down. We can be in agreement with that, right? All right, cool. Now, for the people who are, like Seti Nash saying, hey, bro, Durk is innocent, man. He didn't do none of this crap. You tripping. We do have to sit back and go, the feds, even if they put together an elaborate scheme, Durk should not have put himself in that position. There's a level of real that you need to avoid. Being real hood, real street, real gangster, you need to avoid that. Why? Because the consequences are real. What they do goes back to you ultimately because they feel that you are empowering them. They meaning the government, whether it's the state or the feds. And I seen a little loser making fun of me because I said the state of California, aka the feds. Yeah, it's the feds in California who did this. That's why I said that. That's why it's the Southern District of California. Yeah, they're feds, but these are feds out of Cali, homie. But hey, you new here, man. Sit down. So we do have to acknowledge this. Durk should not put himself in these positions at all. There comes a point in time when you realize, bro, hold on. The decisions of others ultimately fall back on me. I hope every rapper watching this, man, can understand what I'm telling you. The streets ain't for you. If you want to be in the streets, go to the streets. Go thug it out in the streets. This whole niche and need and want to bring all of your homies and all that, and you gotta know what you don't gotta know what they doing, but you gotta know, bro. Hey, man, I keep going back to Chicago, bro. I got this, I got that. Man, we supposed to be busy. We supposed to be making music. We supposed to be making money. Now, there's those who say, whoa, you got family in Chicago. Man, come visit me out here in Atlanta where it's more safer. Once you become a business, the business is to stay in business. And staying in business means not going to jail. But hey, man, some people get it, some people don't, some people will, some people won't. It just is what it is at this point. Do I believe Durk is guilty? Yeah. Is there evidence that can fall out the sky and look real bad for him? Yeah, it could. I'm not going to be one of those individuals who will sit here and lie to y'all and be like, yeah, bro, Durk's good. He's all the way. He's not all the way good, bro. We don't know what we don't know, but based off what we seen, and somebody was right what they said in the comments. Man said he Nash, they didn't show their whole hand. That's true, but Durk has seen a lot of their discovery. He has. Matter of fact, I was thinking about something, but I'm gonna probably save it for another video because there's a couple of charges that these things can get dropped to a lesser if Drew works his magic. But they want life, bro. That's the standard. It's straight up life. You took a life, we take it all of your lives. Ultimately, it was never worth it. But you know what they say. When you gotta be gangster, you gotta be gangster. So hey, shout out to them for doing that gangster stuff. Now go sit your ass down in the feds. If Durk is guilty and all of this stuff and he's been running the rules and all that stuff and Seti Nash got fooled, so be it. These are the choices you make. If Durk decided real life, bro, I gotta be a gangster, I'm gonna hire people and all this stuff, bro, the worst thing you could have did was slide for Vaughn, was do anything for Vaughn. Vaughn put y'all in this bad situation. You didn't start none of this stuff. This is all because of Vaughn. If anything, you should be saying, man, we seen what happened with that. We want to avoid that at all costs, man. And I hate to see it happen to him, but shoot, we got to go live. But y'all, let me know your thoughts on this, man. Subscribe, turn on the bell, stay notified, share to keep your people aware. I will catch y'all in the next one.